Water is a major challenge in Dominica right now after the passage of Hurricane Maria. This video describes how water is supplied more or less to the majority of the country. It is based on footage that I took in 2013.
Everybody understand those words? Reliable and efficient?
No.
Reliable means that water will not go. So while you're bathing, you will not open the tap and see there is no water. And you say, Mommy, no water. That's what reliable means. Efficient means having better quality. So as you may have seen up there, the water is very brown. You call that turbid. The reason for that is that the runoff, the water from the mountains, you see from the little gullies, all of it flows into the water and carrying dirt particles with it, it becomes brown. So you call that turbid. Alright? Now, to deal with that, you will have a filtration system. So you might see the water appearing that way, but after it has passed through all our filters, you will get it clear through your tap. Okay? So let's start with this system. We call this area WA9, which means simply water area 9. That's how we name it on the Wasco system. Okay? So here we've just seen an intake, a water intake. That's what we call an intake. That structure is a water intake. What is a water intake? Basically, like the name suggests, it takes in water. Yeah? So the water intake takes in water. It collects water at one point and it will distribute it through pipelines further downstream, further below. Okay. This intake is typical of most of our system. So you see this one and you've practically seen all, because they are constructed, most of them, the same way with very, very little modifications. So if you've seen one, you see all. They all operate the same way. Alright? So what happens? We build this structure across the river. And one might ask, why you build it across the river? The reason, we want to block off the water so we can extract as much as we want or as much as we need from it. Another question might come up, why would you block off and want to take all that from the river? We have tools that we measure how much water we can extract. We do some studies that will enable us to know how much water is flowing generally in the river, and as such we can know, okay, we can take 10% out from that stream, 20%, 40% is the maximum we go. Alright? So once that area, that section area is cut off, it will be filled and the rest will overflow like you see happening. So really, we're not destroying anything. Okay? Now, once we block up that section, the water will go towards the end. You see like a little concrete section over there. This is called a chamber. What the chamber does, it collects the first volume of water. Alright, so it is stored. Everybody know what a cistern is? Okay, it's like a drum, the blue drum at your home, the blue drums. Basically, it's the same principle. The water comes into it, the heavier particles will settle down. It will fall towards the bottom. Alright? Now what that does, that's the first set of treatment. Okay? So once that settles, it's going to start running through the pipe. Anybody has any idea why the water will live there and run down the pipe and it will not stay one place? Anybody? There's a force acting on the water.
You had your hand up? What were you going to say?
There's a particular force acting on the water. Anybody knows what that force is that will cause things to move downwards? Anybody? Gravity, that's correct. Okay? So because of gravity, the water will leave that chamber and drain down or run down any pipes towards a tank. Alright? Now, we are here, this elevation right here is 380 feet above sea level at the tank. Okay, it might not look so because we drive a very gentle slope coming up there, but we are at 380 feet above sea level. Now, the water lives there, and because of gravity, it will travel to any elevation that is equal or less than 380 feet. Okay, so if you notice, you might be driving around Dominica and you see tanks, storage tanks with water. All of these tanks are fed by something like that. Okay? Now, this one in particular, it feeds the tank above the Portsmouth Hospital. Anybody knows where the Portsmouth Hospital is?
Yeah.
Right. You see how high that is? Here looks like it's below the hospital, not true? Yes, but it's not. It appears that way, but it's not true. There is actually higher than the hospital. So water leaves from there, passes all through Portsmouth, all along Zika, and goes up to the tank. We call that the supply line.
During Hurricane Erica or Tropical Storm Erica, I know that many of these intake systems were destroyed, and so they actually had to build them back to even be able to collect the water. I hope that's not the case that we're dealing with here. Even to get to some of these sites, it's very difficult. There's lots of trees, and I would imagine with the hurricane, many of them are down. So even getting there to start fixing is probably why we're hearing in the news that it'll take quite a bit of time to get these systems back up and running.